Hey, it's Saturday morning. May the 4th be with you. I'm in the Dave Brubeck camp. 5-4 is Dave Brubeck Day. It's 9, quarter to 10. I'm at 11. I Zoom with David Hawes, but I thought I'd get on and say hello and give a recap of last night's gig. Cheers. I'm sore as hell. Having to move a lot of equipment upstairs last night. The Sydney load-in is not very convenient. Last night was a motherfucking blast, and I played my ass off. And there are my fresh blood blisters. I haven't been playing bass. You know, when you play bass regularly with your fingers, you folks that play know you build up your playing blisters, and it's different from practice. I think it is for me. I always play harder on a gig. I play hard. It makes for, I know how to make up for the lack of practice when it comes to knowing what needs to be done for the music. And last night we killed it. All three bands did well. Heavier Than Air was James Ballerin's older brother's outfit. I mean, they did kind of an ambient thing with projections. Of course, Sean is also a visual artist, so we used his projections throughout the night. Then James's thing, Agronomo, was second, which is close to what Chemicals does, but not as intense. And then Chemicals, we only had one rehearsal, so there were train wrecks. There were train wrecks, and it was recorded. I don't know if it was visually recorded, but James said that he recorded the set, so I'll be checking that out. Proof of those are blood blisters. You guys that play music know those two fingers are throbbing with pain this morning. But there's no other way to do it. And then when you don't play all the time, this is really something I'll actually talk to Dave Hawes about today, of Catherine Wheel, regarding some bass playing stuff. I'm looking forward to that. Some other thing, I'll show a couple records because I did go to the record store yesterday, but it was very good to reconnect with Blake. Everything that I thought happened is exactly what happened. And I just, I love everyone in the band, and I love Blake. And so it was touching. And he admitted that, he has a problem with running away, especially from people that he loves, too much pressure. And I was calling him out, saying, you're doing stuff and you don't want to do it, and you're letting people talk you into it, and now you've got your back against the wall. And that's exactly what's happened with I don't want to give too many details, but the other part I met his latest girl, and she is luscious. She is just a sex bomb. She's a treat to the eyes. She's also a musician. I haven't seen her play, but people say she's good. And so I can see, and then Blake just, he said the last knee at me, he said, I can't avoid the passion. That's how he put it, he's in love with this girl, but not really. And he said it honestly to me. He said, we'll see how long this one lasts. I'm just not willing to go through it. I'm sorry that we can't retain the services of the drummer Harrison. He and I hung out and talked a lot last night. I really like this young man, the drummer, who's going to be going out on a couple of cruises, and one is going to take him through Iceland, Norway, possibly down to Egypt. And I said, that's a hell of an itinerary, and you're going to make good money and meet people. And he played his ass off. Now, the only thing I would say is because we haven't had time to develop and work together, and Harris is young, we just kept getting more and more intense until we would end. Whereas with our original drummer, John really understood dynamics. And so we would go up and down. And we were only able to do that once last night. But Harrison listens really close because I know how to break up the beat, to go inside, we're playing in 4/4 and then you juxtapose it with something else. You start a different time. And he would pick up on it just like that. We had a couple of crashes where we came out of some things where we tried something really tricky. We crashed one time, but I said, we can do it. We can do it. So I did it again, and we nailed it. It was a great night. Music is my life. Being out. It was Benson First Friday. I run it, I saw a lot of friends, a lot of people I know, and virtually, I just have to accept it. Everyone knows who I am. Literally every time I try to meet someone, I know who you are. I know who you are. I know who you are. Cool. So, picked up the new Kamasi Washington. What is it? I like the name of this. Fearless Movement. Is this a step forward? Is this really good? Oh my goodness, this is good. This is righteous. This is righteous, and it starts off like that. I'm so glad that I've had just a little bit of time to spend around Kamasi. He's down to earth. He's really cool. Black roots are really important to him. Representing blackness is real important to him. And I recognize that, love it, feel the same way in my own way. But this is music of the people. It's very black, but it's nothing but love. So you're seeing a direct expression of culture and roots, but it's family, it's people music. This music is love. And I got the limited edition. They only got one in. And the way things are going, Homers might be forever before they get another colored vinyl one. And I wanted it. So I called down and said, can I get, did I call soon enough? And he said, you got it. It's yours, Dereck. This is very good. It is a forward motion of what he started with his other album, the Triple Set. It's the same configuration where he has double drumming and things are very alive. The rhythms are very alive. What I find interesting is on the funk tracks, because he calls this his dance album, the rhythms where the tracks where it's the rhythm and the funk is up front, you still have the drums interacting in a very, I say, tribal way. Beat is there, but there's all this other rhythm going on. I also like the fact that Kamasi let some of the sloppiness, it's not sloppiness, it's like there can be like a cacophony of stuff going on, and it can just kind of like almost get away from you at moments. But that tension makes things even better. The new Kamasi Washington, I highly recommend it. Highly recommend it. I picked up some used records too. I've always been a fan of the Le Disques de Crépuscule label out of Belgium. So when I saw this for like $5, Isabelle Antenna, I know what this is like. She's like a jazz, sort of jazzy pop singer, chanteuse. And so this is kind of like cocktaily, and there's a light Brazil influence in some of the stuff. But I'm ready for this, I enjoyed this. I enjoyed what I played. Good arrangements. She has a pleasant voice. was nice. And this is an example of an old record that still fits in my collection. Isabelle Antenna, Fire. It's a compilation. This was used, although they just reissued new versions of these. I respect and recognize Chuck Schuldinger's guitar playing and how it was ahead of the times and really pointed the way for a lot of other guitarists. So I picked up this Death album, Individual Thought Patterns. I have the other Death, the Black Band Death. I have that album. I've had it for years. I've known about this guy for a long time. And when, and the whole Florida scene with metal and that particular studio, I thought this would be fun to have. And it's kind of cool. The recording sounds, unfortunately, it does sound a bit dated. But I'm glad I bought this. I can't imagine I'll be playing this too much, but like I said, it was in the used section. It's like, yeah, let me get that. My first Death album. By that Death. I got two more. Went ahead and took a chance on this. It's a EP by Drab Majesty. Unknown to the Eye, Ultraviolet. Yeah, Unknown to the Eye. I've been aware of them for a while, but with them having toured recently with Slowdive, I was able to see several clips of them live opening for Slowdive, and I really liked what I saw. Clear vinyl, nice clear vinyl. Almost feels like a lathe cut, but it's not. And this is nothing to write home about, but it's pretty cool. And for it's worth a few plays, so it's a keeper. And the last one I bought, I said, okay, I go ahead and get it. I've never owned this album. I respect it. I recognize why it's so great to so many people. But when I first heard it as a child, with my background in music, through my parents, I didn't like it. I said, these guys can't play. I finally broke down because it's in the used section. It's in decent shape, but I now own the Velvet Underground's first album. The Velvet Underground and Nico. I know these songs. I played a local concert here years ago where we did the entire Max's Kansas City live album. It was an event. It was like we were the Velvet Underground to the audience. It was a wild night. So this is a reissue. There's been so many reissues of this. I had a hard time finding what year this one is. Early 2000s. For me, the song Sunday Morning that's a beautiful, delicate song, okay? I get why people are so into this. But I also, as a kid, saw the darkness about this music. I'm not interested. I'm not. I've explained that I went through my phase younger, especially with industrial music and stuff like that, trying to understand how I respond to this and what it says about me. I like the light. But I'm glad I got this now. I've waited. There's been times when I thought, well, if I see one and, it's not too expensive this is, I get it, but that's never happened. So I have the Velvet Underground for now. Thank you, folks. Bandcamp Friday was very nice. You folks who made contributions above and beyond the music, thank you. I really appreciate that, and it is a testimony reassuring me that I'm not fooling myself thinking that people appreciate this and get a value out of what I do. Thank you very much. Sold a couple CDs at the show last night too. Okay, so let me get up here and get some breakfast, and in an hour talk to David Hawes of Catherine Will, and I will be asking him all of your questions, people.